Hello everyone, welcome back to Bare. I'm Stephanee. For today's video, we are on declutter number 6. We are going to be tackling through my correctors as well as my concealers. I actually don't have a lot in this category to declutter. I usually grab a new one every single time I do my makeup, and that way that helps me touch every corrector and helps me touch every concealer. Now let's go back into the beauty cabinet. I'll show you the correctors, the concealers. I have a couple of foundation corrector palettes. I'm also going to show you the new correctors and concealers that I have recently purchased and I'm going to be adding to the lineup. Let's go take a look. This is a 3-drawer plastic container. Again, I got these from Walmart. The top drawer has everything that is for correctors and concealers. The second drawer has all of my concealers that I would consider just for my face alone, so either to spot conceal or to actually cover a blemish or underneath the eyes. And then the last drawer is everything that is new for the year, for 2016. So I have correctors, brightening concealers, as well as regular skin concealers inside. Okay, let's look at the first drawer here. First, we're going to start off with NYX Conceal Correct Contour Palette. This is in the shade Deep. I have showed this on the channel many times before. Next is the BH Cosmetics Concealer and Corrector Palette in Dark. This has 6 pans. I use it kind of in conjunction like the NYX one. Those two are my most used corrector and concealer palettes. Then I have a Wet n Wild Cover-All Correcting Palette. I don't tend to reach for this one often. I'll use it for any type of like artist type makeup or thumbnails, but I do like the lavender purple shade inside. That actually helps cancel out color on the eyelid. Next up is another corrector pen by MAC. This is Prepper Prime. This is in the shade Peach Luster, another product I've shown on the channel. The next concealer stick is by Black Radiance, and this is a deeper shade. This is in the shade color 8003. I like to use this to contour with. It has a nice warm red undertone, and it creates a nice deep shadow depth on my warm skin tone. I've got NARS Radiant Concealer. This is in the shade Biscuit. I use this as a brightener for underneath my eyes. So here is row 2. As you can see, I have a lot of concealers inside, all different textures, all different varieties. So let's dig in. Let's start first with the stick concealers. So I have 3 of them. The first one is by L'Oreal, and it's their True Match Precision Crayon. Now this is in the shade N678. Second is from Revlon. It's their Photo Ready, and this is in the shade Deep. So another stick formula. And the last one is by Edward Best. This is in the shade Warm Amber. The next set of concealers will be in the wand format. So the first one I have to show you is from Sephora. It's their Bright Future Gel Serum Concealer. This is in the shade Toffee. I do like to use this for underneath my eyes. Next I have CoverGirl's Ready Set Gorgeous. This is in the shade Deep as well. And last is from Estee Lauder. It's the Double Wear Stay in Place Flawless Wear Concealer. My shade is in Deep. Next are the concealers that are in a tube design. Those are the concealers I feel I have the most of. So we're going to start out first with Tarte, the Maracuja Creaseless Concealer. The next is the Kat Von D Tattoo Concealer. Next is IT Cosmetics ByBare Under Eye. And last is Cover FX Cream Concealer. The last concealer, I would say their texture would be in a pot. So first up is Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is in the shade 6.25. This is the exact color of my skin tone. Next is MAC Studio Concealer. I have 2 shades, one in NW40 and one in NW45. I mix them together. I put the light one on first, and then I follow up with the darker one on top. Next up is Stilla's. This is Stilla's Stay All Day Concealer in the shade Deep. And last is a dual concealer from NARS. So it does come in a mirrored compact, so it makes it very easy for travel. This is also another product that has been featured on the channel many times. NARS no longer makes the dual concealer, so if you do spot these, pick them up because they're not coming back out anymore. Now they're all in the regular wand format, like the Radiant Creamy Concealer. So first up are two wand concealers, both by Morphe. One is a brightener and one would be more geared towards my particular skin tone. The next one is from Maybelline. It's their Better Skin, and that is in the shade Deep. The next one I have is from Urban Decay. It's their Naked Skin. Now this is in the shade Dark Neutral. So I'm going to try this one out. This has gotten a lot of hype, a lot of talk on various social media sites, on YouTube. So I want to go ahead and see what all the fuss is about. Now this is Sephora's Bright Future, but this is their Corrector. This is in the shade Melon. Next up, I have a couple of concealers that are in Compact and Palette. So this is something that you've already have seen before if you've seen how I depot my concealers. This is my LA Girl concealers. I have all the shades. I have the correctors, I have underneath the eyes, I have skin tone, I have contour shades, and then right next to them I have the setting powders. I just kind of added some extra powders on the side, and I have those right along so I can go ahead and set the concealers, set the contours at the same time. The next palette I have is from BH Cosmetics. It's the Foundation and Concealer number 2. This is their 10 color palette. Now what I like about this palette is it has a lot of different shades for different undertones and skin tone shades as well. The last palette I have is from Coastal Scents. This is the Eclipse palette. It's got 15 concealer shades. All different variety of shades are included here. First up are all of the LA Girl concealers and correctors that I depotted. Those are the empty containers, so since I'm throwing them away, I thought I'd show them to you here. The next item to go is by e.l.f. Now this is their corrector. It's called Yellow, and it has a very tacky texture. It's I would say very waxy is the term, and it doesn't spread well on the skin. It just doesn't work good on the skin, in my opinion. So I will be go ahead and tossing that. It was very inexpensive, so I didn't feel bad about throwing it away and not using it up. But it's just not something that I was impressed with as far as to use. Now the next item to go is by Iman. This is their clay concealer, and this has a very dry texture. I have used it, and you don't need a lot for it to actually spread on the skin, but it does dry out over time, and I tend to notice that with Iman's concealer. So it's just very hard to blend after it starts to dry out. So it's not going to be something that I just choose to continue to work with anymore. The next item is by Bobbi Brown. This is the Corrective Concealer. This concealer by Bobbi Brown has already been reformulated, so the one that I'm holding is quite old. You're using concealer on yourself only, you know, you can kind of tell when it's time to throw it away, but if you're also using it on clients, it's not good to keep them that long. The next is a concealer by Black Radiance. So it's the same Black Radiance as the darker shade one that I used to contour with. This is the light shade in 8001. Now this one has a smell to it already, and I don't like that, so I'm going to let it go. Also, it's very hard to blend on the skin. When I try to use it as a highlight effect on my face, it's very hard to smooth on the skin. It's very rough. So I just don't want to deal with it anymore. So I will be letting go of that. And the last item to go is a Quad by Sonia Kashuk. So this is their 4-pan concealer packet, and this is in the shade Medium. So you get 3 concealers and you get 1 pan that is just like a setting powder. What I've noticed with this concealer is it has a olive base, a neutral undertone to it. I am warm tone, so it doesn't work on me. Also, I just noticed it was very hard to blend as far as the texture. This is another product that is very waxy, and it kind of slips and slides and just doesn't really set well. So on my warm undertone, it does pull olive, it pulls neutral on me. So this would work better if you are a cool, a neutral, or olive complexion person, or if your client is like that. Plus the setting powder was just too ashy as well on my skin.